Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Sharika Nelms, and I'm the Program Director for Advise Tennessee. And we're going to give an overview of the program this morning and give you some information about where we are in the hiring process. First, I want to give you a few housekeeping details. We are recording this webinar, and it will be available on our website, hopefully in the morning. So if you have additional questions or if you wanted to go back and listen, it will be available on the Advise TN website in the morning. Also, your phones are presently on mute, and so if you do have questions, you can ask questions during the webinar by way of the question button on the webinar software, or you can email me directly at sharika.nelms@tn.gov. And that's SHERICA.nelms, NELMS, @tn.gov. We'll also have an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end of this brief webinar. I'm going to try to be very respectful of your time and keep it short and brief, but we will have an opportunity for you to ask questions. Again, thanks for joining us this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started with an overview of what we want to accomplish today. We're going to give an overview of the Advise Tennessee program, an overview of the college advisor position description, our hiring timeline, and where we are in the process, and give you a few details about the required in-service training that is a part of the position if you are accepted. So Advise Tennessee, the goal is to serve 10,000 plus junior and senior students across the state of Tennessee. We'll do that by hiring 30 college advisors, and those advisors will be trained college access professionals that are focused on one thing, and that's just helping students enter and succeed in higher education. The goal is to have approximately one advisor to every 350 students, and that number will fluctuate a bit just depending on the school placement of the advisor. This program is built on a partnership model with our schools that we're partnering with. The college advisors will be placed in those high schools that have articulated a strong commitment to building a college-going culture. Those schools are being selected through a process where they submitted an application, and we're in the process of reviewing that application, and we'll announce the schools that were selected in September. So we're also in that process right now as well. And it will be we are asking the advisors to commit to a three-year process or three-year commitment pending the availability of funding each year. These advisor services will be rooted in research and best practices sourced here from Tennessee and around the nation. And so the program model is built on this theory of change, that we will have partners with those high schools, and that's a committed partnership between those high schools and Advise Tennessee, and that really the program model will be built on individualized advising, and that's research-based interventions and data tracking, and really helping students and helping schools to create that college-going culture. And sustaining the model that's created in the schools, and so increasing the outcomes, more FAFSA applications, more students applying to colleges, and having a culture that promotes college going, and then sustaining that culture after this initial wave of funding has ended. We will have metrics that the program will be following, and the things that we want to accomplish will be measured in the following ways. We'll look at college applications, acceptances, enrollment, the number of scholarships and awards, FAFSA completion rate, the number of Tennessee Promise scholarship applications that are completed, students completing the required Tennessee Promise meetings and service hours yearly, increased ACT scores, student participation in one-on-one advising sessions, which is really the basis of this model, student participation in college visits, student and parent participation in workshops, including the Path to College events like Tennessee FAFSA Frenzy, College Application Week, Signing Day, and College Planning Night, and students using the collegefortn.org, which is sponsored by the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. So the services that our college advisors will perform include one-on-one student advising with junior and senior students at the high schools that you're placed at, workshops for students and families, and those workshops will include ACT prep workshops or FAFSA completion workshops or workshops to help parents and students learn how to navigate the college going process. Senior college applications, Tennessee Promise applications, college application week, college fairs, ACT prep, college signing day, financial aid, and financial aid literacy. Summer mental interventions, which we'll focus on a lot in the upcoming summer, and then FAFSA verification assistance for students who are chosen for verification. All right. So in the organizational chart, I'm Sharika Nelson. I am the Advise Tennessee Program Director. We are in the process of completing the hiring of 2 to 3 regional coordinators, and they will directly supervise the college advisors, and that's the position that you have applied for, the college advisor position. So you'll answer directly to that regional coordinator that's placed in your region, and that regional coordinator will answer directly to me, and then I answer to Troy Grant, who is the Associate Executive Director for the Office of P16 Initiatives here at THEC. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the college advisor position, what the position is, and maybe a little bit about what it isn't. I want to make sure that you understand that this position does not supplant or take the place of the school counselor. And this position is not it's not a school position. Although you will be, as a college advisor through this program, you will be embedded in the schools. You will be an employee of the Tennessee Board of Regents, which is our partner for the administration of this program. So you'll be a TBR employee answering to the THEC regional coordinator, but you'll work in partnership with the school administration, including the school principal and the school counselors. So your role isn't to take over what's already happening in the school. It's to partner with and collaborate with to increase the amount of college-going efforts and activities that's happening in the school. And so the way that we'll do that is by delivering individualized support and interacting on a daily basis with high school students and parents. And this is just, these are the highlights that are taken from the official position description that was posted on the website when you applied to the position. You'll be providing support specifically in the college admissions and financial aid process. You'll organize group events that encourage students and their families to consider, plan for, and apply to colleges and universities. You'll establish productive working relationships with principals, counselors, and teachers in that assigned partner high school. And again, it really is a partnership where you and the counselor and the principal will jointly develop a work plan that will meet the metrics that we're wanting to meet, but that will also really help the school reach the students that have the ability to go to college or need information about college. You'll assist in data collection and evaluation aimed at long-term sustainability of the program, and so a part of this position will be collecting data. We'll be recording data for the sessions that you spend with students and all the activities that you do while you're there in the school. And then a lot of it will be training to maintain your expertise in admissions and financial aid advising. And so that's an overview of what the position is. This is a 12-month position, and so the position will begin in October of 2016, and you'll be continuously employed. In breaks, when school isn't in session, we will roll out a training plan that will include activities during that time. And also in the summer, we'll have activities for you to work on as well, and some of that may be independent learning. Some of that may be organized training, but we'll roll out that training plan as we go along. So a little bit about the advisor timeline, where we are now. We're in the process of beginning the interview process, and so interviews begin tomorrow and will go through August the 31st. You all received a Doodle link that will allow you to sign up for an interview or let us know if you're no longer interested in the position. If you've got specific questions about the position, you can feel free to email me, and I will get back to you. But that's the interview process will take us approximately 2 weeks. our offer letters will go out anytime from September the 21st to the 26th. If we are going to offer you a position, we'll send you a letter, and then you'll have the opportunity to respond and then commit to that position. And we'll expect those the week of September the 23rd through the 28th. And in that time, we also will match you with schools based on several factors. The most important factor being your location and proximity to the schools that were chosen in our selection process to participate. And then the advisor start date will start October the 10th. Through the training will be the 10th through the 21st, and we'll talk a little bit more about that training on the next slide. And we anticipate that you'll be in your schools ready to start delivering services by October the 26th. So in service training, we wanted to tell you that if you're offered a position and you accept the position, that there will be a mandatory 2-week in-service training that will be held here in the Nashville area. We don't have the specific location just yet, but we do know that it will be in the greater Nashville area. And this is a required training. It's one of the only opportunities that we have to bring everybody from across the state, all of our advisors from across the state together, and provide some of the necessary training that you'll need in order to be effective for your position. And so that is all on site, and it is required to be a part of this program. For that training, lodging will be provided for you, and your mileage and meals will be reimbursed. And we'll send you information if you're selected to participate at that time. But we wanted to let you know that training is a required part of your commitment to the program. And so that's all I've got, really, just kind of an overview of what the position is, a little bit about what it is. And we know that it's been a long time since you've been contacted or since you've applied for this position. And we're doing our best to work through the many applications. We got over 300, applications for these positions. And so we're really excited that you're excited about what's happening with Advise Tennessee. This is a brand new initiative, so we are building this program from the ground up, and so as you can imagine, we've got a lot of details to work out. So thank you most of all for your patience with us during this process, and so we are happy to now be in the interview process. We've read all of your resumes, and so we know a little bit about you, but we're going to be really happy to meet you in person so that we can pick the best team possible to be on the forefront of establishing this program. So I'm going to check to see if we have any online questions. We don't have any online questions, and so now we are going to unmute your phone so that you can ask questions about this initiative. Any questions that you have, you can ask at this time. All right, so it'll take just a second to get everybody off of mute. I'm also in the office with me. I'm sorry I didn't do this up front. I've got Troy Grant, who is the Associate Executive Director of the Office of P16 Initiatives and is the person who has been spearheading this effort from the very beginning. Troy, do you have anything?
Sure, thanks, Sharika. Well, we are just so excited about the direction that we're headed. And I mean, and Sharika, started with us a couple weeks ago, and her first task was really reading through each and every one of those 300 resumes that we went through. So you are part of an elite group, and we're excited about the possibility of working with you. But I do think that we have everyone unmuted, and we'd love to answer any questions that you have about the position, about the program, or about generally the direction we're headed as a state and how Advise Tennessee fits into that.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Good morning, first of all, Ms. Nels and Mr. Grant. My name is Ebony Milam, and I'm a little bit nervous. The first time I ever did webinar. I'm sorry. But my question is, once the advisors get posted, feeded into the school, will they work the same exact school schedule as the school permits? I'm sorry, you may not understand that. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
No, you're fine. Yes, the advisors will work a schedule that mirrors the school that you're placed in. So everybody's schedule will be just a little bit different depending on the schedule of the high school that you're placed in.
Okay. And would that include?
Now, go ahead.
Oh, would that include like the school holidays? So school holidays or the time they'll be off from school. So would
Yes, you will have the holidays and the time off. Now, however, during the breaks, um, we reserve the right to offer training. We're not sure if that will be regional training or if there may be an instance where we have you come to Nashville or connect with us via webinar. So we haven't completed that exact training plan just yet, but more than likely, especially during the long breaks, that there will be some training that's offered. And I'll also say about the school schedule that your hours will mirror the school, but there will be workshops and events that happen in the afternoons or the evenings at some point, and so you will be expected to attend some of those events as they're related to your position.
okay. Thank
So we
you.
do have absolutely. We do have a couple of questions that came in online. One is, how will advisors in assigned schools be paired? That's a great question and a huge puzzle. So we have 64 high schools that have submitted proposals to be part of this program, and they really are in every single corner of the state. What we are going to be doing, we have a team of 20 readers who are reviewing those applications for them. Based on those scores, we will interview schools to participate in a team meeting. So one of the reasons in that timeline that Sharika went through, we are going to be selecting the schools, and then from that selection process, then looking at the teams of advisors that we have interviewed, kind of go down the list based on kind of the qualifications and really who the ideal candidates will be. So that's really where we're going to be looking at personality of advisors, the personality of the schools, proximity of the schools to where the advisor lives or would like to live. And so those are the things that are going to be really us kind of going to be a little bit of a puzzle. But I think what we're committed to, and when we think about this, we want to have the best partnership between a school and advisor. And so if there, for instance, is an individual who has context to that community, that's something that's going to weigh in on their placement. So that's really, it's going to be a little bit of a complex process, but those are the things that we are thinking about related to the advisor placement. Another question that we received is, you expressed this would be a 12-month employee. Could you expand on that? Would it be contractual? How evaluations be conducted? So I'll kind of touch on that.
Okay.
Sharika, you kind of fill in where, particularly in the evaluation piece, I think.
Okay.
So they will be 12-month employees, but I think that this is part of what and this relates to another question we had about how these individuals will be categorized within TBR. I think that part of what we will be working through too is that we know that the school day, there's school day, but then there's also things that might happen, like if you do a workshop in the afternoon, and how does all that kind of fit together. So we'll be working with Austin P to kind of come up to make sure that we are developing an employee plan that makes sense for both the program and for the advisors who will be working there. So I mean, I think that it's not contractual in the sense that there's an annual contract. I mean, we're hiring you as an employee who will be an employee that we are going to be working with for the foreseeable future. But what we will do in terms of comp time, how the summers work, there will be some flexibility there that we will roll out very soon. And so I think that there is going to be work outside of the school year that will need to be done around professional development and summer melt, ensuring students are successfully transitioning to post-secondary ed, doing summer type events within their community. So there will be some things there, but then also, we don't necessarily want you working over the entire Christmas break when the school is not in session. That's where we might have some PD here, and there will be flexibility. So we're going to be working through with the advisors and with an Austin P on how exactly that will work. And from an evaluation standpoint,
and just to add to that, most likely you'll be professional staff if that was a part of the question. I know that there's usually a delineation between professional and support staff, and this position would most likely qualify under professional staff.
thank you.
And for the evaluation piece, and we're still putting this piece of the puzzle together, but your immediate supervisor is the regional coordinator, and they are your, we like to say, critical friend, and so they're going to be the person that is there with you, helping you make those relationships in the school, but also the person that will serve as your immediate supervisor. We anticipate at this point, if I were just to put it out there, and we haven't written this in our policy yet, but we anticipate a 30-day performance evaluation and a 90-day and then yearly from then on out. So that, but in the interim between those critical points, that regional coordinator will be making the rounds, going to schools in that assigned territory, both to be a help to you, to help with relationship building in the school, to help with activities, and to help make sure that you're meeting the milestones. And so that's what we at this point think that our evaluation plan is going to look like.
So we have two more questions that have come in, three actually. So could the advisor be responsible for multiple locations, multiple heights? Yeah.
That is not our goal. Our goal is to keep that advisor centered at one high school. Now we know we have a lot of smaller high schools that have submitted applications, and there is a possibility if a senior class is small and there are two schools that are located close to each other, that are both funded, that we might ask an advisor to split some time. But the real focus is to have a one advisor to each school, so that person can really help the culture of that school and really become integrated into the work that's happening at that school.
To kind of give you a picture of what that might look like. So what I would envision, we have a district that we work with in another program that has a larger, I think what I would say like a medium-sized high school, that's the county high school, but then they have a high school that is more rural mountain high school, and so we could envision that, seeing on the numbers and where it shook out, that we'd have an advisor that would spend 3 to 4 days at the county high school and 1 to 2 days at the smaller, more remote high school. With another question, actually several questions that came in regarding the availability of funding, which is an excellent question. And so here's kind of, and I want to be really clear about this. So just like any of the positions in our office is paid for by a combination of state dollars and grant dollars. This program is being funded out of state dollars. And so I think the heart of that is that this acknowledgement of that anytime we do programming at the state level, that if funding goes away, then sometimes the positions do as well. I mean, and that's just the reality of how the funding works. I will say that we have a non-recurring allocation from the governor's office for this program, and a commitment for 3 years of funding. And so let me be clear what that means. And this is not to say that in 3 years the program will end. The governor's office is viewing this as a pilot. So we're doing this across the state. It's new, it's different, it's innovative work, exciting work. And when we have a proof point of success, there will be conversations in the next couple of years of moving that to recurring funding, and so that it's more of a long-term program. So we asked for commitment for 3 years because we felt that was key. If we were going to get the program off the ground, we needed at least 3 years to do that, to show the impact that we most certainly anticipate will be there. But that's what we mean about the 3-year commitment and the pending of availability of funding. So I just think that we want to be really upfront and clear about how that works.
All right, we are reading questions and trying to get to all of them.
Okay, so is there a state that already runs a program similar to Advice and that we could research for more information? So that's a great question. So there are some iterations of this that look a little bit different in a variety of different states. Illinois has something similar, but they're not place-based in schools. They're more place-based in communities, where I think one kind of nuanced improvement to this program is that we will have more direct access with students by partnering with high schools, which seems key. There's also a program that's called the National Advising Corps that does this in partnership with a variety of states. Usually they partner with a higher ed institution and they are place-based. So those are a couple of programs. The Illinois Student Assistance Corporation has an advising corps, and then the National Advising Corps has affiliates all over the country. I would say that this is unique in that doing it the way that we have outlined to do it, with the scale that we're doing it, is a little bit unique across the country. So I hope that answers your question. Another question is, if you're in graduate school and have internships to finish graduate school that you will have to do throughout the 3-year commitment, if chosen, will that, okay, so I think that what we are looking for most certainly is an employee that can work full-time with this job, spending 100% of their time and effort. So we are the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. We are obviously in favor of people continuing their education and improving their capacity as long as they can do the job that we're hiring them to do fully. So if it is that, then as part of working with the program, that it helps meet an academic requirement, I think that we're open to that as long as you can dedicate 100% of your working time to implementing the project. And I think that might be a one-on-one conversation that we can explore a little bit farther.
Yes, and on a case-by-case basis, we certainly won't write that into policy.
So a question that about the advisors being placed in not taking over the school counselor position, but that they will most likely be placed in counseling offices within the schools in order to streamline services. And will they? So I think this will look different depending on depending on the school. I think in part of what we're asking schools to do is to designate a liaison who will be our point of contact. I envision that most of those individuals will be school counselors, and it makes sense, depending on how the school currently functions, that the advisor will work real closely with the school counselor. We've been proactive in our school selection process to include a letter of support from the school counselor. When we do interviews with the schools, we're asking a school counselor to participate in that process, because we do think it's pretty vital that in most schools now, the kind of burden of doing, or opportunity, I should say, of doing this work often does live with the school counselor. And so it would make sense that if we're enhancing this work, that the school counselor and the advisor will work very closely together. But in some schools, it might look a little bit different depending on their individual structure. But great question. Is the salary negotiable? The salary will be set across all advisors, and it will be $40,000 a year. I'll tell you where we came to that salary. This relates back to the question about models across the country. Most of the models, programs that do this, focus on near-peer, recent college graduates. They typically pay those individuals an AmeriCorps type salary that tends to be in the low 20s. It really is more of used like a year of service or a couple years of service. What we are interested in, and I think it's been great about what we've heard from the folks that have applied, we're looking for professional advisors. Not to say that those individuals can't be professional advisors, but the quality of individual we're looking for is something a little bit higher than just near peers, but we want a diverse group of advisors. And so that's why we're paying the $40,000 a year, which is similar to what a first-year teacher makes. And so that was our thinking in setting that. So that is not negotiable. Is any retirement plan offered? These individuals will be employees of Austin Peay State University. That's going to be our employee, like our personnel manager partner, and they will be have access to all of the benefits of being an Austin Peay employee, which would include retirement benefits. Yeah, so we also have a question about the Fair Labor Standards Act. Will these positions be affected by, yes. We will, and that's part of our working with Austin Peay to make it really clear so that when offered, that everyone knows kind of what their, how the positions will work. These are going to be positions that let's say it this way: we will be following all applicable laws as it applies to enrollment, employment within the state and within the United States. So yes, all those laws will come to bear. I think it's everything that we have.
Those are all the questions that we have online. Do you have other questions that we can answer? Well, if you don't have any other questions, I'm gonna ask you to please, if you are still interested in the position, go to your email and go to the doodle and go ahead and sign up for an interview. We will conduct in-person interviews over the next few weeks, and if you can't make it to Nashville for an in-person interview, which is our preference, but we are available to do a Skype interview if you need to. So if you need a Skype interview, please email me and let me know so that we can set you up for the Skype interview. And even if you're not interested in the position, please also go and indicate that on the doodle poll.
So, this is kind of a closing word. I think that it's a really exciting time to be doing this work in the state of Tennessee. With the advent of the Tennessee Promise, we've seen a huge increase in college-going rate. We had a 4.6% increase the first year of the Promise, which is really unheard of. So you couple that with this new work of then being able to embed professional college advisors who relentlessly spend every day focused on improving the lives of students around college going and their post-secondary options. This is an exciting time, and this is a really innovative program that we are excited about. But I think fundamentally at the end of all of this, we will have the opportunity to change the lives of literally thousands of students. And that's an exciting proposition, and we really are excited about the work that we will do collectively in partnership with you, in partnership with the schools that we'll be selecting, and we are excited to potentially have you on our team. So again, we're thrilled, and we do look forward to meeting you very soon.
Yes. So if there are no other questions, please go and fill out that doodle poll and let us know.
We do have 2 more questions.
We have 2 more questions,
Sorry.
so hold on just a moment.
Will we be interviewing with you in the in-person interviews? How will we best prepare for the interview? So there's just going to be 1 round of interviews. It's going to be an interview with all of us, the team here together. Another question was, where will the interviews be conducted? They're going to be here, and I'm going to send an email out today of everyone who has signed up already. They're going to be conducted here at the Tennessee Higher Education Commission, which is downtown Nashville. And real central location. We have parking within the building, so 1 round of interviews. In terms of best preparing, I mean, I think it's just I think telling us about your skill set, telling us about the things that you have done, and how you would be the ideal college advisor. And I think looking at the job description, and really relating your experience to how you best fit into the position, I think will be key.
Yes. Review of the job description.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, we'll add that to the email that we send out, just so that you have a reminder of what that is.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Like Troy said, we're really excited about this program, about being able to build this program. We're really excited about partnering with our schools and then partnering with you. And we look forward to meeting you. Again, I'm Sharika Nelms, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email or call me.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.